Alright, hello everybody, it's Rob here. Today we want to talk a bit about all the different Barbarian builds, and basically we've created a tier list for all the builds after we playtested all of them for hours and hours in the new season scene with all the hearts and all the new mechanics. So this is the tier list that I've come up with so far, and I'm just gonna quickly talk why I think which build is that strong and how they're all comparing to each other. Before we get going, right now, there is some pretty crazy interaction with Berserk Ripping in combination...
Hype,
thanks man. Berserk Ripping in combination with the Barber gem that basically makes all the builds deal an insane amount of damage, and basically all of them can clear the highest content. Every Barbarian build can kill Lilith, Uber Lilith, every Barbarian build can clear Nightmare Dungeons. But there's a lot of builds that can do it faster and way easier with way less effort. And that's what this tier list is for, and also just to gauge like a general power level between the builds. So starting in S tier, and I also have all the links here. I'm gonna put this all in the description, the link to the sheet, and we have all the planner links here. And I also have all videos. I have a video guide up on I think all of these builds. So on S tier, we have the Whirlwind Barb. This is the best speed farmer in the game. It's one of the most iconic builds. It basically deals damage while moving, and that's why it is just that powerful. And as content is super easy now with the power creep of these season theme hearts, it's basically crazy movement speed, dealing damage while moving. Just nothing can beat it. It's just like burst through the monsters, like you apply bleeds and they all die. You always have perma berserking, because you have the relentless berserking. It also kills bosses really fast with the berserk ripping. That's insane crit chance, and also has a pull, which helps a lot with this build. And overall, double swing is also an S tier, and double swing is a stronger build in general. It deals more damage. It's like very very good with the fury management and stuff. Very easy Lilith kill. Very good crowd control. And basically has the highest damage overall. It has definitely a lot more damage than Whirlwind, and can probably produce the highest numbers, and would be overall the strongest build if there would be like harder content in the game. But the problem is, all the content in the game is pretty easy right now. So that's why the double swing Barb is just together here with the Whirlwind Barb and ST. I think these two builds are really strong, and if you want to make a Barb, like, go with any of these builds for sure. Like, it's even like, double swing is not good for leveling. Whirlwind Barb can be played while leveling, but it's also not the strongest. I think like the next one here, this is like my top 3 Barb builds, Hoda. It's significantly weaker than double swing and also than Whirlwind in my opinion in this patch. But Hoda is still strong because it has good AoE. You can still use the Quake now because they like buffed it slightly. So you are still like encouraged to like miss the main target and just hit it with the Quake. And that's where you get some good damage from. It also has a good CC, and it has very high lucky hit chance as well that can help the build a lot. It has less base damage, but again, it makes up for it by just having some great AoE. It's a bit clunky as well. And also a big thing of the Berserk Ripping combination is how well builds can keep berserking. And Whirlwind can do it pretty well. Double swing is okay as well. Hoda is a bit harder to keep berserking. You're also reliant on lucky hits. It has decent lucky hit chance and high AoE, so it definitely works. So these are the top 3 Barb builds in my opinion. The rest is not close to these, but again, all of these builds can kill Lilith. They all can do Nightmare Dungeon 100. They all can do all the hardest content in Diablo 4. We'll see when we get more endgame. It might change. So in B tier, this will just be slower in those contents, right? So you have the Upheaval Barb. This is the Hellhammer, just got buffed a bit. It's still not the best, but it's definitely playable. And Upheaval is really nice currently because it has a very, very easy perma berserk upturn because they also buffed the Violent Upheaval rune again. So you always gain berserking for 2 seconds if you hit 2 enemies. And this is insane. And it also gives you berserking when you hit the boss. So you don't go with this rune anymore. Like, you just like upheaval all the time, and you have perma berserking. And that's what's really, really helping the build out. And obviously it has some crazy AoE. A downside is, I guess it has low damage and long, like, cast animation. If you can call it animation. It's like a bit slower than the other builds in terms of animation. And then we did the Frenzy Barb. And this is probably one of the fastest Uber Lilith kills, or the easiest Uber Lilith kills right now. It's purely single target, so it's not really that great in bosses, in normal dungeons, but it's really good against the bosses. So you can see here, this is like me doing an Uber Lilith kill with the Frenzy Barb. And it's just like so strong, like it just like blasts her down really, really fast with the bleed. And you have like so crazy attack speed that you're like proccing it all over again. And with the attack speed, what really works well is that you have all the stagger. You see, Lilith just spawns and her stagger bar, because I attack so fast, goes up like crazy. You guys see this? Like, she's like instantly staggered, and this way you can prevent her from spawning all the blood balls. And that's why like Frenzy is probably the easiest build to kill Lilith. Like, you don't really need crazy gear, you just stagger her instantly, you have this crazy attack speed, and it just works. It just works. So Frenzy Barb, probably the easiest Lilith kill. That's why I have it here in the B tier. Like, in Nightmare Dungeons, it's not that nice. You can still like kill everything because of Berserk ripping, but it's taking some time, right? Then we have the Kick Barb here. This one has very good burst damage, but very low sustain overall. Like, you can like do one kick or something like every 5, 6, 7 seconds, but then you have to wait before you do the next kick, and so on. So it has like really, really like insane burst damage, but you can't do it as frequently. So it drops a little bit down to B tier, because damage-wise, I think it can like compare with the Hoda. Just you can't do or can't dish out that damage as frequently. But yeah, the Sparta build, man, he is also killing Lilith very strong. I did like a combination of kick, Sparta, and Deathblow. And you basically just kick Lilith, like here with kick, and then we do Deathblow Rupture, and she dies like pretty immediately. I think we managed to hit like 5 billion damage in this one. So this is with like kick, Deathblow hybrid combination. But there's definitely some cool builds that you can do overall. Then we have Leapquake. This is like one of the most fun builds. You basically like just leap around all the time, and it's a lot of fun because you can't be stopped and you just like leap. It doesn't deal crazy damage, but it just looks cool. Like, leaping around is just such a cool mechanic, I think. And even with the cooldown nerfs, you can still get a permanent leap with enough ranks on it. Let's see if I can have some footage. Yeah, here, like like that, you can just like leap around and kill stuff. Pretty fun. And it does good damage for sure. Just leap around a bit. Chop, chop, chop. Yeah, it's quite a lot of fun with leap. Then we have the Charge Barb. This one was like freshly buffed. But it's still a bit clunky because you have to basically charge all the enemies into terrain. So that's not the best. But it still can be a pretty unique playstyle. I just wouldn't necessarily recommend this. And this one is like, as you see here, it's like below. So it's like almost down in C tier. I'm not sure, maybe it actually is C tier. It's like low B tier, upper C tier. I still think like these are like a bit weaker. Hard to say. Actually, I think I might gonna put this down one. I think it's better suited in C tier, the Charge Barb. Upper C tier, but not really the best. It also requires all the cooldown, and it's just like a bit clunky in the end. Then we have Deathblow. And the problem with Deathblow is that if you kill stuff with the Barber gem, it doesn't reset the cooldown of Deathblow, right? That's what makes it a bit unfortunate. So you see here, damage does AoE, and on Deathblow we only get resets if Deathblow itself kills the enemy. So if you one-shot it, it's fine, but if you like hit it for 90% and then the Barber kills it, it's not gonna work. So that's why Deathblow is not that good, because you just don't get the resets. There is some crazy combination that you can do with like Rupture and Deathblow, like resetting each other's cooldowns, and then it kind of still works. And as you've seen on the Lilith kill, I also had Deathblow there, so there's definitely some room there for Deathblow. But yeah, I think it's one of the weaker builds. And then we have the Thorns Barb, and this one is fun and unique. Unfortunately, Thorns is not considered a direct damage. And in order to proc the Berserk Ripping, you basically need to do direct damage. So it doesn't work with the Berserk Ripping plus Barber combination. It can still clear Nightmare Dungeon 100. It's like pretty tanky. It's very slow in applying the damage, but overall it's still like a pretty comfortable build to clear all this. And that's the tier list so far. I mean, like, I think I have pretty much all the builds in here. There's like Kratos Barb and some more like off-meta builds. There would probably also be like somewhere in C tier, and then obviously you can make a bunch of like F tier, like not viable. You can play like a Bash Barb, but yeah, not really like necessary. I mean, this is like a lot of builds here, and I think this is like 95% of what players would play. So we have like more than 10 builds in here basically, and I have videos and links on all of these. I'm gonna put all that in the description. But yeah, that's the overview, guys. And keep in mind, when Season 1 comes to an end, we not gonna have the Barber gem anymore. And when the Barber gem is gone, Berserk Ripping Barber combination won't exist anymore. And it'll be pretty weak after that. Oh yeah, true, Rent Barb. You're right. It would go right here. Rent Barb is here as well. I gotta put another link. Probably actually above kick though. It's probably slightly above kick. Good call, chat. Thanks. Yeah. Smaller AE, but good damage. 100% vulnerable uptime. But yeah, we're gonna add Rent Barb in here. B tier as well. Maybe in the future we will separate these tiers, especially when Berserk Ripping is gone. I think Double Swing is going to be the only S tier build when Berserk Ripping is gone. Just right now, Whirlwind just competes with it because it's just like so fast paced and the content is just so easy. Maybe we also in Season 2 going to get some harder endgame content, and the tier list is going to be different. But this is the Season 1 tier list. I'm a bit worried on the Barb state of things. Like Barb, I think, is still very weak. Right now, it's getting massively carried by the Berserk Ripping and Barber. And once the Barber is gone, I'm not really too confident in the Barb's ability to deal damage. It's probably one of the worst classes together with the Sorcerer. Like Druid, Rogue, and Necromancer just outperform Barbarian by a long shot. And we will see when Season 1 is over and the Barber is gone, that this will change quite a bit. But yeah, that's been the overall tier list. I hope this helps you judging which Barb builds you want to play. But even, you don't have to play S or A tier. You can just play some of the like off-meta builds. I had a ton of fun on the Leapquake Barbarian and stuff. So if you just want to check out some new playstyles, check out these videos, these builds, and yeah, have fun, my friends. Hope you enjoyed this overview. Take care. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.